And now, broadcasting live from the Colquitt Center at Roanoke College, it's the Alternative Hour. Crank it up, because the Alternative Hour starts right now on WRKE 100.3.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Alternative Hour. I'm Elijah here with my co-host, Krista.
Hello, friends.
Hi, how's everybody? We are dead today. It has been a rough, long week.
Yes, it has been.
I normally spend like hours working on this show. I spent about 10 minutes sitting here in the studio right before we started. So it has been a very rough week, and we're going to try to do the best show that we can. We have a special guest here who's going to talk about an upcoming show starting tonight in the Olin Theater. All that and more on the Alternative Hour, which begins right now on WRKE 100.3. Alrighty, so you all know we love politics on this show, and Tuesday was the South Carolina Republican primary. And Krista, do you want to tell everybody who the winner was?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
It was Donald Trump. Again.
No, it wasn't.
And by 10 points. Second place was Rubio. Cruz was not even second place. He was third again. So even though he won the Iowa, it looks like he's not going to actually do that well. So there are 2,472 delegates up for grabs. You need 1,237 to win. Trump has 81. Cruz and Rubio both have 17. Kasich has 6. Bush has 4. And Carson has 4. What happens to the 4 that are for someone who dropped out? Do you know?
But I don't think they had really... People haven't decided yet, really. So it could just be that nobody...
Because Bush has 4 delegates right now, but he's gone.
Yeah, so
they get to choose themselves.
Well, I guess. I don't know how the Republican convention system works.
Oh, God, if I know.
I can tell you that it does a thing.
It does a thing. It elects a person.
But I don't know how it works.
Well, Tuesday is Super Tuesday, which means there's a whole lot of primaries going on. Right now, Trump is winning all of them except for Texas, which Cruz is barely winning, and it's his home state. So that's pretty pathetic. And, in exciting news, for some people at least, Donald Trump is almost coming here to Roanoke College, but he's not.
Ha!
He's going to Radford, but Marco Rubio is coming here. He will be here on Sunday, February 28th in the Bass Center at 8:30 p.m. Doors open at 7:30. That was an email sent out to everybody. If you are interested in going, get tickets now, because tickets are handled by the campaign, not by Roanoke College, so they could and probably will run out. So if you're interested in going, get your ticket now. I already have mine. Are you going, Krista?
To what?
To see Rubio.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't have time for that.
Oh. I'm so sorry that your Sunday nights are so busy.
I have 2 separate chapter meetings.
Krista's spread so thin. She does so much. It's ridiculous. Speaking of being spread thin, this is Tech Week for Theater. We open tonight, and we have here in the studio one of our actresses from the show. She's going to tell us about the show right after this. You're listening to the Alternative Hour on WRKE 100.3. We are back with the Alternative Hour, and I am here with Katie Madigan, who is in the show These Shining Lives, which I am stage managing, and it premieres tonight at the Olin Theater. How are you, Katie?
I'm doing very well, Elijah. Thank you.
Don't lie to me. You are exhausted.
I am. I'm very tired.
It has been a long long, 5 weeks now?
Yeah, just about.
All right, tell us a little bit about the show.
Okay, so the show is basically about, it's set in the 1920s, and it's about these girls that worked in this watch factory where they would paint watch faces with radium-based paint or powder. And it was really cool because it would make these watches glow in the dark. And radium at the time was like all the rage in the 20s. Like they put it in drinks, they put it in makeup, like it was just all over the place. It was basically like aspirin at the time. Well, but what ends up happening is, who'd have thought when you ingest radium after, like 10 years, you start getting sick.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah, it's shocker, right? Well, basically what the girls in this play are doing is they're painting the watch faces and they're dipping their paintbrushes in this like radium paint and then dipping it in their mouths to make the paintbrushes have a point. So they've been eating like radium powder for years and they end up getting really sick. And it's basically about how they take on the company and call them out and basically show what's wrong with like big businesses and stuff. So it's really cool and it's a great story. It plays a lot into the relationship between the girls that are working. I play Charlotte Purcell, and she is Catherine Donahue, who is the main protagonist in the play. Charlotte is her best friend, and she's one of her coworkers. Let's see, what can I tell you about her? Well, she's a bit of a spitfire.
She is.
She is. She's all about the Roaring 20s. She's just in her prime. She's excited because she can vote, she can smoke, and she can kiss in public. And it's just...
It's exciting times.
It is. It's exciting times. And it's a lot of fun to play. Because I've never played a character like her before where I really get to be outlandish and I get to do all these crazy things on stage that I've never been able to do before. So,
would you consider yourself like Charlotte?
No, not at all.
So how is that having to play someone that you're not like?
Well, it's very different because Charlotte, she's very interesting. She's very cool, and she's just this very confident person. She thinks that she's basically the bee's knees, and it's very interesting playing someone like that because I don't know, like it's weird playing someone who's like so confident in themselves and then just so outlandish, but at the same time, she's got this depth to her where she really is. She's very, very young and she's very scared, and so it is interesting playing her because I'm channeling this part of me that I haven't really unlocked. So I don't know. It's just it's very cool playing someone that interesting. So if that made any sense at all, I was just rambling.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So what would be your favorite part about the show? Without giving anything away, what would be your favorite part about the show?
My favorite part about the show? I would say just the relationship between the four girls. That's my absolute favorite thing to play. Because, I'm close friends with all my castmates, so it's a lot of fun just to goof around on stage. And then it's just very cool, like, just playing off of each other. And then, so it's great, like, in the beginning of the play when it's very funny and it's lighthearted. Mm-hmm. So we're just laughing and having the time of our lives. And then it just has this just a really dramatic switch to where it's not funny at all anymore, and it's actually very scary, and it's really interesting, like just the dynamic between the girls and how they play off each other, and they really are each other's support systems, and it's beautiful in that way.
Awesome. So if you were to pick one person, one character, who do you associate most with?
Honestly, that's tough. I'm going to have to go with Pearl. She's another one of the girls. She's very sweet, very, a little bit reserved, but she's always telling these really, really bad jokes, and I think they're hilarious. So, but also she's also got that depth to her that she really is trying to fight as much as everyone else, and so I guess that's who I most like. Mm-hmm. I guess, but yeah.
And then probably of the entire hour and a half play, you have my favorite line. And you know what it is.
I do know what it is.
Go for it. Okay,
so little background. Charlotte, as I've said before, she's a bit of a spitfire. Mm-hmm. She does what she wants, or at least acts like she does that she wants and just thinks that she's all that. So in this scene where I'm about to do this line, I'm talking about this date that I had when I went out with a man, and he was basically telling me all the things that I couldn't do. Mm-hmm. So,
which you don't like that.
Which I don't like that at all. So this is my line. Let's let's see. Well, I would smoke all day and all night if I wanted to. Well, except I have to work, which, wouldn't leave my hands free to smoke. But if I could, I would. I would smoke, I'd drink gin, and I would shimmy, and he said, Charlotte, you'd look like a harlot. And he didn't even think that was funny. I swear that fella's so tight, if you stuck a piece of coal up his, and then you cut me off.
Yeah, then we have to cut you off.
Yeah.
You can't say that on the radio.
I can't say that on the radio, so, yeah.
But I love that line, Charlotte, you look like a harlot.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's so much fun.
You play that really well.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, These Shining Lives is tonight at 7:30, Friday night at 7:30, Saturday night at 7:30, and Sunday at 2. Do not miss it. It is free to Roanoke College students, so you have absolutely no excuse. We'll be right back on the Alternative Hour. All right, everybody. Krista is fine, but she did have a little bit of a personal emergency, so she's going to run. She already ran out. Not ran out, but she already left. So Katie is nice enough to fill in for us for a little while. Katie, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll just sacrifice my nap that I was going to take. It's all good.
All right, so tell us about your character. Now tell us a little bit about Katie, if you would.
A little bit about Katie Madigan. Ooh, well, she's just the coolest cat that's around. Now, let's see. I'm a creative writing major. I'm a sophomore, and I'm probably going to minor in education. Haven't fully decided yet, so, there's that I have to do. Let's see. My favorite animal is an orca. I love orcas. They're so cool.
Oh.
What's O?
I don't know.
No, explain yourself.
I can't because I don't really know what that is.
It's a killer whale.
Oh. Okay.
What's their technical name?
Oh, okay.
Since I'm that cool, I know that and stuff. So, yeah.
So, how does a creative writing major and a possible education minor end up in theater?
Well, I'll tell you this, Elijah. Well, theater was always a really big part of stuff that I did when I was growing up. I was that kid that threw on plays or put on plays, not throw them. I would put on plays in my driveway or in my basement or in my living room, torturing all of my family members. And then my mom kind of suggested, she was like, oh, well, you could do this
For
not
real?
home.
Away from us.
Away from us. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So I got involved with theater stuff, I guess, when I was in about 4th, 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
So it was just an after-school program. And then from there on out, I started doing plays in middle school, and I was really, really involved in high school. So that's really cool. And then when I came to college, I didn't do anything last year because I was like, oh, I'm a freshman. I'm not going to get involved in anything. So, yeah, if you're a freshman, don't do that.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's really not, because you just sit around bored and you're like, I don't have a life. And, not in a good way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this year, I started doing theater here last semester after trying out for Sense and Sensibility, which, Elijah, you worked on that show a little bit.
I was the lighting operator.
Yeah.
It was an interesting show.
It was fun. Yeah, I was.
I said interesting. Not fun.
It was fun. You didn't get to act. I got to act, and I got to. I played a very, very different character from what I'm playing now.
Yeah.
Polar opposites. In the last show, I played Mrs. Dashwood, who is this very just sweet, calm, cool, collected, very reserved old woman. So. All I would do is just sit and sew. But it was pretty cool. But I had a lot of fun. That's where I based. And then when Dr. Warren said that she was going to be doing another show in the winter, I was like, oh yeah, I got to try out. So, and luckily I got cast.
Yeah, luckily.
Well,
I'm surprised you're still saying that 5 weeks in.
I'm exhausted, but it's...
Actually, this is the fun part. Tonight begins the fun part, when you really get to see what people think about it.
Yeah, no, this is what you work up to.
Because you can sit there and you can analyze it and reanalyze it and reanalyze it and redo it and reblock it and relight it and reanalyze it again. And we have, trust me, we have done that. But you don't really know what it's like until other people get to see it. So this is the fun part.
Exactly. No, I've been looking forward to this. I've been counting down the days, not only until when I can sleep again, but but no, it's there really is something that performing in front of an audience is really what makes theater worth it. Because it's like, that's when you know the moment that it's like, I am affecting someone. I am doing something. I'm making people laugh or making people cry, and hopefully it's both. You know,
right? Yeah, this show's very interesting because you kind of got to do both.
You do, and it's really interesting too because it literally like it just turns on its head within a matter of like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it goes from like this one like really happy like goofing off scene, and I'm like showing my legs and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then it's like the next scene where it's just kind of like everything kind of hits the fan.
Yeah,
and
crap.
Yeah, just crap.
This is not good.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, we're actually dying. Okay.
So we have decided not to do a curtain call with this show because the way it ends is very dramatic and it's effectful, and we're not going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. How does that change? We haven't done it yet, of course, but in theory, how does that change? Does that change how you react as an actor? Not getting that final, you did good or you did Mm-hmm. How does that change your entire way you're going to do the show? If it does.
It's definitely different because I've actually never done that where we haven't had a curtain call. So this is definitely going to be something new for me. But I don't like at the same time though. I think that it is going to be very effective. And I know like when we first heard that we weren't going to do a curtain call, I was a little bit bummed, and I know a couple people were as well. But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? That's actually okay because it would be very out of place for us to play happy music and all this. Like, oh, we did a great job. It's awesome, you know. So I don't know. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, how people, because I know it happens, but I've never worked or even been to a show where there's no curtain call. So the audience may be a little bit confused, but I think it'll be. I think once they get it, they'll understand it because it's a very dramatic ending, and you don't want to ruin it.
No, and you don't want to ruin it at all. And it is one of those things that I remember even in the really early rehearsal processes. Processes. That's not a word. I'm tired.
We both are.
But what's interesting though is that when we started running the show, we were just doing read-throughs really. At the end of every single rehearsal, pretty much everyone was in tears.
Oh yeah.
So, and that went on for like 2 weeks.
Dr. Warren, I'm surprised she's not still crying. She was crying like 4 weeks in, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was, and it's actually a great compliment to receive though, to know that you have moved someone like that.
And it's like kind of good crying, so like, please don't, if you're listening, please don't think you're like, come and like bawl your eyes out and like want to die when the show's over. It's positive ending.
It is a positive ending.
It's dramatic.
Just hard. It's like,
it's a lot to take in.
Bittersweet. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet.
So don't be like, oh, wow, I'm going to like hate myself when this is over. No.
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all.
It's a positive ending. It's just, it's dramatic and it's deep, and you really have to put a lot of thought into it.
And honestly, I think that some of the best endings, like I love the show, I love the way it's written, and that's just because like the creative writing major in me. But it's, but the writing is just fantastic because it literally, because how you can tell like really from like good writing is when you get that switch from comedic to dramatic to back to comedic to back to dramatic, and it's
exactly
that like constant push and pull, like because that's like real life, you know, and it's not everything is just going to be glum and gloom all the time, but there is going to be these little moments of happiness and these ridiculously funny moments when everything's hitting the fan, you know. So it's so that's why I think the show is great, because it really plays off of that.
You can't cry all the time. Sometimes you have to just laugh.
Exactly.
All right, when we come back, we have news and weather. You're listening to the Alternative Hour on WRKE 100.3. Now it's time for news and weather on the Alternative Hour. Apple doubles down. Apple engineers are developing new security measures that would make it harder for the government to break into a locked iPhone. The company's lawyers are preparing to submit a formal response to a court order that it helped the FBI unlock an iPhone used by a mass shooter. By Friday, Apple says it will take the dispute all the way to the Supreme Court.
Okay, on debate night, 5 remaining Republican candidates, Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Ben Carson, and John R. Kasich. They're meeting in Houston tonight at 8:30, and it'll be on CNN, so that's fun. Many Republicans fear that Mr. Trump won't back Speaker Paul Ryan's conservative agenda if he wins the nomination. But there are 5 ways Mr. Trump could stumble. Bernie Sanders, who is campaigning in Ohio and Illinois today, criticized Hillary Clinton's support of a 1996 welfare reform bill, accusing her of backing legislation that ultimately increased poverty levels.
And storm watch. Parts of the Midwest can expect more heavy snow today, the National Weather Service says. Travelers should check their flight status. There are hundreds of cancellations and delays.
Europe seeks to block refugees. There's a possible extension of internal border checks, the policing of external boundaries, and the proposed Coast Guard are being discussed today in Brussels. Officials are worried that the number of migrants will rise sharply in the spring.
And in local news, Governor Terry McAuliffe visited the devastation in Appomattox today. He said the path of destruction was 12 to 15 miles long. There's a possible 8 tornadoes that may have touched down in Virginia. He says, quote, "But for the grace of God, this didn't happen in the middle of the night. And I think that had been the case, there had been many more fatalities. There was 7 for this one." From helicopter, McAuliffe said he saw several damaged buildings and a lot of debris and trees in some places. The only thing left of homes was the foundation. As of noon, 18,000 people in Virginia are without power. Currently, it's 42, cloudy and windy. It feels like 33. We have a wind advisory in effect until 7 a.m. on Friday. For your weekend coming up, Friday, high of 40, partly cloudy. Saturday, high of 47, partly cloudy. And Sunday, a beautiful sunny and 63. News and weather brought to you by Roanoke College. Classic for tomorrow. You're listening to the Alternative Hour on WRKE 100.3. So Marco Rubio coming to campus is very exciting. There's also other things happening on campus, like the 2016 Unsigned Only Music Competition, which is now open. You could win up to $100,000 and get mentored by top record label executives. More info can be found on our Facebook page, WRKE 100.3 Roanoke College Radio. And Stacey Nadeau, Embracing Real Beauty, is tonight at 7 p.m. in the ballroom. And I'm sure I slaughtered that name, but oh well. Roanoke's Got Talent live show. Come enjoy the talents of Roanoke's finest singers, dancers, and bands Saturday at 7 p.m. in the Alumni Gym, but only go to that if you've already seen the show, because the show's more important. And men's lacrosse at versus Denson University is today at 3:30 p.m. And ODAC men's and women's basketball tournament is going on all week. Student tickets are just $6, and you can visit SalemCivicCenter.com for more info. Well, even though it is show week, Katie still has an exam today.
I do, in about 20 minutes.
So we're going to let her go get some of her things. Katie, thank you for being here, and thank you for staying longer than I even asked you to, because Krista had to run off. So thank you very much.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Please come and see the show tonight, guys. If not tonight, sometime this weekend. You're not that busy. You're not that busy. Come see it. All right, thank you, Katie. We're right back on the Alternative Hour. You're listening to WRKE 100.3. Alrighty, folks, please be aware that we are under a wind advisory until 7 a.m. on Friday. Strong wind gust winds 15 to 25 miles an hour with gust around 50 miles an hour, especially in higher elevations, so please take precautions necessary and possible power outages. We'll wrap up the show right after this on WRKE 100.3. Alrighty, folks, we are out of here. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at WRKE 103 ALT Hour for this episode posted online, all of our old episodes posted online, and to keep up with news with the Alternative Hour, and sometimes we post actual news stories. We'll be back on Tuesday at 12 to 1 for a brand new Alternative Hour. Until then, Have a great weekend, guys. Go see these shining lives. We'll see ya. He'll leave you with one for the road. Bye.
What?